Daf Yomi, Tractate Makos. Makos or Makot, either one, depending on how you're pronouncing, depending on your pronunciation. Makot or Makos, Daf Vav and Aleph, 6a. The time now is 1:34, or 13:34, 1:34 p.m. Israel Standard Time. With the words Amar Yossi, Bamed Devai Mamori within the Fashois, top of the page. Amar Yossi, Bamed Devai within the Fashois, within the Mamanois, is Kaim Be'edus Bashar. Rabbi Omer, Echad Dini Mamanos, Ve'echad Dini Nefashos. Rabbi Yossi says, in what case is this statement that if one of the three witnesses is disqualified, the entire testimony is voided, said? It is said with regard to cases of capital law, which are adjudicated stringently, but with regard to cases of monetary law, which are adjudicated more leniently, even if one of the witnesses is disqualified, the testimony will be validated with testimony of the rest of the witnesses. And if it is sufficient, the case can be adjudicated on that basis. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi disagrees and says, if one of the three witnesses is disqualified, the entire testimony is voided in both cases of monetary law and cases of capital law. Ve'emasai bizman she'hitru bahen, aval bizman shlo hitru bahen, Mayasu shnei achin shiro be'echad shaharag es hanefesh. And when does one disqualified witness void the entire testimony? Only when the witnesses forewarn them before they perform the transgression, thereby demonstrating their desire to fill the role of witnesses in that case. But when they did not forewarn them, what shall two brothers do in a case where they, together with others, saw someone who killed a person? Will the murderer escape punishment because two relatives happened to be there at the time of the murder and their presence voids the entire testimony? No. The testimony is voided by the presence of relatives or disqualified witnesses only when their intent was to testify. If that was not their intent, they do not void the testimony. And that concludes the Mishnah. Tomorrow, the Talmud says, Amar Rava says, okay, apropos the statement in the Mishnah that the halachic status of 100 witnesses equals that of 2 witnesses with regard to the halacha of conspiring witnesses among other halachot. Rava says, Amar Rava, Vihu sheinu kulam esar kadei dibor, Amar le Ravacha midifti l'Ravina mechdi, toch kadei dibor hechidami, kadei she'elas Talmud l'Rav mea tuva avo. Rava says, and that is their status only in the case where all witnesses testified within the time required for speaking a short phrase. If their testimony extended over a longer period, the testimony of the witnesses does not constitute one testimony. Now, what are the circumstances of the period of time indicated by the words within the time required for speaking a short phrase? It is a period whose duration is equivalent to the duration of the greeting of students to Rabbi, Shalom Aleichem Rabbi, which means greetings to my teacher. The duration of the testimony of 100 witnesses is always greater than the duration of that greeting. How then can 100 witnesses testify within the time required for speaking a short phrase. Ravina said to him, Rava means that each and every witness must begin testifying within the time required for speaking a short phrase after the other witness completes his testimony. So it's all 100 people, but each one individually, which can fit that time limit. The result is an uninterrupted series of testimonies that combine into a single testimony. Okay. Rabbi Akiva Omer, Lo bashlishi v'chule, mashnayim v'chule, amalei Rav Abaye, ela me'ata ha'ocha yatzir, keshe'aroga me'choiro. The Mishnah teaches that Rabbi Akiva says the third witness mentioned in this verse does not come for the judges to be lenient concerning him. Rather, its mention comes for the judges to be stringent concerning him and to render his halachic status like that of these two witnesses who testify with him. And just as with regard to two witnesses, if one of them was found to be a relative or otherwise disqualified, their entire testimony is voided. The same is true for a set consisting of numerous witnesses. Rav Papa said to Abaye, but if that is so, then relative or other disqualified witnesses who witness an incident voids the entire testimony. The murdered victim should spare the accused from execution because the victim himself witnessed his own murder. And he is considered a disqualified witness because of his personal stake in the verdict. Therefore, the entire testimony should be voided. Abaye said to Rav Papa, a murder is executed only when he killed the victim from behind, and the victim did not witness his murder. Nir bayatzil kishiravim echayel. Rav Papa says to Abaye, it is not uncommon for murder to take place. It is not uncommon for murder to take place without knowledge of the victim. But in a case where one is sentenced to death for sodomizing a male, why is he executed? The one who is sodomized should spare the accused from execution. Here too, since the victim witnessed the sodomy, he is disqualified from bearing witness due to his personal stake in the verdict. The entire testimony should be void. The more answer is the sodomizer too is executed only when he sodomizes the victim from behind him, and the victim did not witness the act of sodomy. In the case of males, it's probably most of the time. Hoireg berov yatzilu ishtik. Kiyas lekam derave, aber le yakom davar, v'mekayim davar akasim davar. Rav Papa said to Abaye, although it is possible to construct a scenario where the victim did not witness the act, it is difficult to construct a scenario where the perpetrator did not witness the act. Therefore, the murderer and the one who sodomizes should spare themselves from execution and void the testimony because they witnessed the act, and they are disqualified from bearing witness on the grounds that a person is not capable of testifying about himself. Abaye was silent and was unable to respond. When Rav Papa came before Rava with this question, Rava said to him, it is written, according to two witnesses, or three witnesses, shall a matter be established. Deuteronomy 19:15. It is with regard to those who establish a matter as legal fact in a court that the verse is speaking. It is only witnesses who are relatives or otherwise disqualified who void the entire testimony, not subjects of the matter. Therefore, there is no basis for the questions of Rav Papa. Amar Rav Yossi, Bamed v'amalim b'chol ma yasu shnei achim. Hechi amri alehu. The Mishnah teaches that Rabbi Yossi says, in what case is this statement said? What shall two brothers do in a case where they, together with others, saw someone who killed a person? Rabbi Yossi says that it is only with regard to cases of capital law that one disqualified witness void the entire testimony. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi says that this is the halacha even with regard to cases of monetary law. The Mishnah continues and says that it is only if the witnesses forewarned the perpetrators that they are classified as witnesses, capable of voiding the entire testimony. The Gemara poses a question: how do we, the members of the court, formulate what we say to the witnesses in order to ascertain whether their intent was to testify? Amar Rava, Haki Amrina Lahu, L'nechazeh ititu, o le'ashode atitu. I amri le'ashode ato, nimtza echad mehem karov pasul, edutan betela. I amri le'nechazeh ato, ma ya'asu shnei achim, shera'u be'echad sheharag et hanefesh. Rava said, this is what we say to the witnesses who come to the court. Did you come to observe the proceedings, or did you come to testify? If the witnesses say they came to testify, then if one of them is found to be a relative or otherwise disqualified, their entire testimony is voided. If the witnesses say that they came to observe, in that situation, what shall two brothers do in a case where they saw someone who killed a person? It is certainly unusual for those who witnessed the murder to not even attend the court hearing. Itmar Amar Rav Yehuda Rav Shmuel Halach Rabbi Yossi Rav Nachman Amar Halach Rabbi Rav Nachman Amar Halach Rabbi. With regard to the dispute in the Mishnah, it was stated that there is an already dispute. Rav Yehuda says that Shmuel says the halacha is in accordance with the opinion of Rav Yossi, and Rabbi Nachman says the halacha is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi.